Hi everyone, welcome to CX Network. I'm joined today by Drew Crisp, who's the Executive Partner, UK and Ireland Communications Sector Digital Leader at IBM. First of all, can you introduce yourselves to our viewers? What is your role and what are your responsibilities related to digital customer experience?
Within IBM, I look after what we call our digital service line for our communications sector. Our communications sector consists of energy and utilities, media clients and telecommunications clients. My role is to run that sector and all of the offerings that we provide, from digital strategy all the way through to kind of digital solution implementation and everything in between that.
And how do you think leaders today can make their customer experience a competitive differentiator in today's digital markets?
So digital focus is an interesting term. I mean, what is a digital focus? Actually, what it's really about is I have to shift a customer's experience in terms of the services, products, and experiences that I have today into a new one. And that could be across any channel, omni-channel, multi-channel. I think the way in which clients today can shift that experience is probably fourfold. I think it's about speed, and they have to be able to get things to market quickly, otherwise they start to lose that differentiation. I think it's about relevancy. Too many organisations try and be too many things to too many people, and actually just stay relevant to your customers. Just work it out what it is your customers want and deliver that. I think the third point is testing, and I don't mean testing from we've put something live and I've got to do a bunch of usual scripts and therefore it kind of ticks all the boxes and then I work out at the end of the project it's not really what I want. This is about how do I test with real customers as early as I can in the life cycle of an idea and before that idea starts to go to market. The sooner I really understand whether that's going to resonate for my customers, the sooner I know I'm going to deliver something of value, and frankly I'm not delivering something because our board thinks it's a good thing to do. And the fourth point then is personalisation. I have to be able to make it relevant to smaller sets of customers. It isn't a one-size-fits-all. As consumers in the market now, we're all quite fickle about what works for us and what doesn't work for us. So organisations and businesses have to think the same way as retailers, for example, do in our personal world.
Digital transformation is a key trend for customer experience businesses in 2017. Why do you think it has become such a focus for businesses today?
So my first point I'd make is that I think of it as business transformation in a digital era. There's a subtlety in that. All businesses, all organisations go through transformation. They've been through transformation in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years, in the last 20 years. They're going to continue to transform. All businesses have to do in order to continue to deliver value in the market in which they operate. This degree of business transformation is now just happens to be with a different set of tools, a different set of lenses, and a different set of capabilities. The transformation that we're seeing right now is from an experience perspective. Now, why do I think it's from an experience perspective? Most markets are being disrupted, and they're being disrupted through technology. That disruption means there's new entrants into markets. So for as long as organisations continue to only provide the service they provide today, the only thing they're going to go after is cost as a lever to differentiate. That, generally speaking, only has one outcome, and that's not a desirable one for a business. So as a consequence, that's about how do they address the fact that they're going to get different entrants in their market, and how are they going to respond to that? That means they have to think about new services, they have to think about what they're going to do, how they're going to compete in that market in order to grow their value as opposed to reduce their cost. In order to do that, they have to think about experience. They have to think about a mechanism by which they're going to keep customers sticky, they're going to keep customers engaged in their business, they're going to offer new services. And that links back to the previous point I just talked about in terms of differentiation.
So actually a business transformation is imperative right now, because otherwise you're just going to stay behind of your competitors, disruptors in the market. You have to continuously transform your business to stay ahead.
Completely. And that's not new news. I mean, businesses always do that. It's just that now what we see is with technology and with what we see particularly in the IoT space, within the analytics and cognitive space, within the kind of digital platforms and experience space, it means that they're just transforming with a different lens and they're fundamentally changing the fabric of their business. It also means that this transformation doesn't have an end. I mean, organisations might say, we've got a programme of work and we're going to spend X million on a transformation programme. And in doing so, you know, you kind of the C-suite and think that these programmes have got a start, middle and an end. Actually, this transformation, you're fundamentally shifting your business model and therefore it doesn't have an end. It's just going to keep going.
Many customer experience leaders are looking to create a business transformation in their organizations, but it's not always an easy journey. What do you feel are the biggest challenges today?
So I think that falls into 3 or 4 buckets. I think One of the biggest challenges in a large number of organisations is speed, particularly organisations that may have, dare I say it, some organisational lethargy, process lethargy and some kind of legacy systems, and the speed at which they can launch things is a challenge. I think the next challenge is one of skills. So, we're dealing now in a world where people need very different skills across business and IT in order to implement these new solutions. As a consequence of those two things, I think culture and organisation structure are then the next challenges. Culturally, what do they want to be famous for in the business? What's their brand eminence? What services do they want to offer? And from an organisational perspective, how can they rework their business such that they can still deliver and keep the lights on? Because let's accept the fact that all businesses still have to make money, earn revenues and deliver the service they deliver today, and at the same time they've got to deliver the future and they've got to deliver tomorrow's capability.
And what can industry leaders do to tackle these roadblocks?
I think it's about, unless there is an imperative to go after a wholesale transformation program, which is an entire kind of huge business program that lifts and shifts what they have today and moves it onto brand new platforms and is kind of an 18-month, 2-year program, I think actually a large number of organisations aren't in that space, and rightly so. So in order to actually still move in this digital world and actually start to deliver a new experience, they need to think about smaller bite-sized pieces. They need to think about where are the 1, 2, 3 core business processes that cause them the largest amount of pain, that maybe cause the most dissatisfaction in their customers, or present the biggest opportunity for market growth. Pick those 2 or 3 areas and start to innovate and iterate some ideas around those really, really quickly. I then think it's about, in all honesty, being slightly bold, and for businesses to be slightly bold and say, we're going to test those early and we're going to accept that if it's not what customers want, we throw it away. Culturally, that's quite hard because everyone wants to measure some business value from whatever the project is. And therefore, there's a tendency to say, well, that project's got to deliver X, therefore I must keep it going. Actually, the earlier that you test that idea, the earlier that you create lots and lots of ideas and actually turn them into 2 or 3 that are going to resonate and are going to deliver value, and that you test that quickly, and you are bold and you bin the ones that aren't going to work, then you'll start to make a difference. And I think there is that outcome.
That was some really great top tips there. And ultimately, what snapshot advice can you give customer experience leaders to help them succeed on their business transformation journey in the digital space?
So I think you have to have clarity on the service that you want to give to your customers, and you have to ask yourself the question, am I going to be relevant to my customer needs such that they stay with me? If you ask that question and the answer is yes, the likelihood is you'll have a happy customer and you'll be successful. When you've done that, you have to start with the smaller areas. Don't try and eat the elephant on this. Find these small areas that you can create lots of ideas from, test them and put them in the market quickly.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that advice to finish the interview with.
Thank you.